I seen Flo was waiting, and I had the game ball. And when I went up to him, it was just one of those, like, I don't know. For me, it was like, thank you for taking a shot on me. Because, like I said, a year ago, I mean, who would have known? I could have had a season-ending injury, but, you know, the Miami Dolphins decided to take a chance on me. So that was awesome.
What is it with these top 5 quarterbacks in 2020 not keeping their first game ball? Joe Burrow sticks it back in the bag. Tua Tagovailoa gives it to Brian Flores. Keep the damn ball. Your grandchildren want that ball.
They got bigger things on their mind. They figure they're going to get balls that are a lot bigger deal than, oh, my first measly win in the NFL. No, these guys they got high expectations. They put pressure on themselves. And, you know, with Tua, I think it's like a total, you know, it's a relief. Think about his last year of his life. I mean, you went from, oh, I'm going to be the number 1 pick in the draft to, damn, am I going to come out in the draft? Wait, is anybody going to take me in the first round? Wait, no, they are going to take me in the first round. Am I going to be healthy enough to play and start the year? So I'm sure he's just so relieved to be out there and happy that a team believes in him, and it's great to see. I know he's a great young man.
After any of the games in Tampa, John Gruden ever climb up on a ladder and hand you a game ball?
No, not on a ladder. He did not climb up on a ladder. You're such a jerk. He did give me some game balls, though. I got 1 or 2 in my time down there, definitely.
Did you keep your first one? I
did. I got a few footballs. Not many in my house. I mean, there's not that many to keep, really. But, yeah, I got a few there. And, you know, what was cool, too, is when you win a game ball or do something like that, then they would also, like, give you one that was decorated with the score and your stats on it and painted all that. That's really cool. Like my little boy Philip, he gets a big, you know, kick out of seeing that. So that is cool to have.
So unlike Tua and Burrow, who know that more are coming,
right,
you realized I better hold on to whatever I can.
I don't think I ever held. I don't think I held on to like the first win or anything. Like I should have. I should have been like, damn, these are numbered. I better keep this one. But I didn't.
All right. What's more likely for Week 10 begins with the game between the Chargers and the Dolphins. And it is fascinating because the Dolphins, with the 5th pick in the draft, could have taken either guy. It's kind of like a mini version of Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf, just a few picks later, right? And the Chargers in the Ryan Leaf position yet again. They get the guy who was left over. They get Justin Herbert. Herbert has impressed us more, in part because he's played more this year. Tua has looked good. So what's more likely? Justin Herbert is the headline after this game, or Tua is? Chris?
Well, I think that Tua's going to get the headlines because I think they're going to most likely be the team that wins this football game. You know, I don't think it's going to be easy, but I mean, listen, we end up usually talking about the team that wins. I don't know if that'll necessarily be that he's more impressive. You know, like we've talked about, I'm intrigued to see the next step of the Tua offense. The first week he didn't have to do anything. Last week it was just screens and boots and, one-on-one go route. Bam, that's all they did. You know, they're going to have to do something else to bring to the table against the Chargers. But, you know, the Chargers are not a great defense. And I just think Miami's a better football team. But I think, like, statistically, when it's all said and done, Herbert's going to be the guy that wins that. I mean, Justin Herbert is – I don't know what else to say about the guy. Him and Joe Burrow have blown me away. They really have. Justin Herbert, I think you could sit here and argue already in him and Joe Burrow and go, they're top 10 quarterbacks in football maybe already in that conversation. That's how damn good they are. So,
wow.
Yeah, they're damn good. Justin Herbert has an arm that, and the way he throws that is – it doesn't look as cool, Mike, but damn, like it's every bit as good as Rodgers and Mahomes and the great arms we have in the sport right now. He can throw more 40-yard lasers like it's nothing and throw it on the money, and I'm just blown away by it every week.
Yeah, and Justin Herbert is good enough right now to get everyone fired in L.A. I mean, that's the problem.
You're right, Mike.
They aren't winning games with this awesome quarterback.
Right.
Yet you have to be apoplectic if you're a member of ownership there. And also, as I've said previously, it makes the job a hell of a lot more attractive to any A-list coach out there. If you've got a guy who's been kind of on the fence and maybe he's being coy and maybe you think you could get him, but nah, you know, every coach is looking for a quarterback, you've got a situation now with the Chargers. This is the kind of job. I don't want to get too far down this rabbit hole because we're supposed to be doing what's more likely. This is the kind of job that could catch the interest of guys currently coaching other NFL teams, head coaches of other NFL teams, and get them wondering, is there a way I can work out a thing where I can just jump from the team I'm with to that team? Because I can. Yeah. If I had Justin Herbert, I'm adding to my legacy in a very meaningful way over the next 5 or 10 years.
It's going to be a very sought-after job if it comes to that. It really is. And, I mean, listen, if they continue to blow leads and not be able to manage the clock the right way and do those type of things, it will be a new regime in there. And, yeah, all the hot OCs or, maybe you're right. Maybe a head coach where it goes, this is coming to an end here. Let me go there and start up something new, fresh, whatever. But when you have that guy and then some of the, receivers in place too around him to go, whoa, I could hit the ground running there. We fixed the O-line a little bit. And the one thing I know right off the bat, because the defense has talent already, and you just go, this offense, we could be special. We could be fun to watch and, light up scoreboards and really attract a fan base and do all those things. And they have a chance right now. They do. I mean, he's special. They hit gold with Justin Herbert.
Bills-Cardinals, another great game this weekend. Josh Allen versus Kyler Murray. And by the way, going up soon at PFT, if it's not there already, Kyler Murray halfway to becoming the first ever 4,000-yard passing, 1,000-yard rushing player in NFL history. But this topic is about receivers. Who's more likely to have the top production in the game? Is it Stefon Diggs, who currently leads the league with 813 yards, or DeAndre Hopkins, who did lead the league before Sunday, but he only had 30 yards. Now he's at 734. Who's more likely to lead that game?
I think I'm going to go with Stefon Diggs here. I am. I think the thing that they'll just be, first off, their offense, Josh Allen, he's always looking for Diggs. I think the offense is more creative than Arizona that way, too, to get those guys the ball. They push the ball down the field more. And Arizona, they'll give you those opportunities, to, man-to-man coverage, all those type of things where, listen, I think Hopkins will have a good day, but I don't know if he'll be on the, proverbial island as much with one-on-one coverage quite to the extent I think Stefon Diggs will get. And because of that, that's why I'll go with Diggs.
Yeah, it wasn't until the second half that Kyler Murray threw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins last week, which shows that, defenses are adjusting and then the Cardinals are adjusting, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to throw the ball to the guy 15 times a game, at some point the defense is going to try to take him away.
Yeah, well, exactly right. And then the other thing, too, they got going for them, and, they need to infuse other guys in their offense. Christian Kirk, as we saw last week, he is a capable guy that makes some big football plays. So, they did a great job of featuring DeAndre Hopkins early. We've talked about this before. This is where I dropped the ball between this and the Houston Texans conversation, right, with, wide receiver by committee or one guy. But they did the old thing, we're going to feed them until people start to adjust, and then we'll be able to adjust off that and go to other guys. But again, this offense, I don't love it. So much of it is on Kyler Murray's and his ability just to make it happen. And I'd like to see them do a little bit more in the pass game, too, to get DeAndre Hopkins more catches down the field and things like that.
Huge game between NFC West teams. The Seahawks at 6-2, the Rams at 5-3. First place on the line. What's more likely, Jared Goff carves up the bad Seattle pass defense, or Sean McVay, the Rams head coach, tries to play through the run against Seattle? Chris, what's more likely?
I'm going to go with the first one, that he carves up the bad Seattle pass defense. Now, the thing about this question is, even within that, they're going to do it through the run to a degree. But I think they'll come out with a pass-first mentality, especially with Seattle. Seattle, every game, it's in your face. It's at the line of scrimmage. We're going to take away the run. We're going to do those things. You'd almost be stupid sometimes to come out and think you're going to run the ball in Seattle. They're not going to do that. They're not going to let you do that early on in the football game. But, again, Seattle just undisciplined, all over the place on defense, really have to reassess their approach. They really do. And if you're going to make me pick up one, I'm going to go he carves it up with the bad Seattle pass D.
Yeah, I agree with you because that pass defense is just so bad.
Yeah.
And you look at what Josh Allen did to it last week. Sean McVay has to be saying, well, I can't wait to get our offense in a position to take a crack at that defense.
It's a different way.
The Bills did.
It's a different way where in that game I think about it a lot too because, I think they'll have some ways to take advantage in the pass game. But, when it comes to the bootleg play action pass game, that hasn't been quite as effective against Seattle as the teams that can just drop back and push it down the field. And that's where I'm like a little tentative about that matchup altogether because Goff and McVay and the Rams offense, when it comes to drop back pass game, they don't blow you away that way. They're at their best when they can run it a little, and then that play action and boots come into play. And that's where, the Seattle stopped the 49ers from that aspect, and that's where they might be able to match up somewhat well here with the Rams in that aspect too.
Bengals-Steelers. Bengals 2-5-1 coming off their bye. Steelers undefeated, but Ben Roethlisberger a major question mark for that game. What's more likely, the Steelers' defense sacks Joe Burrow 4 or more times, or Burrow has a chance to win the game on his final drive? This is the more classic what's more likely where there's a gap in between.
There is a gap. Or I also want to be like, can I pick like he'll probably get sacked 4+ times and maybe have a chance to still win the game at the end? I mean, there's a real possibility of that it's both of those. I'm going to go with here, though. I'll be cool. I do think there's a chance that both of those could happen. But I think I'm more going to go with Burrow gets sacked 4+ times. I'm not saying that second part doesn't happen. I wouldn't be shocked. But I still think there's going to be times where he's going to hold the ball and try to make something happen and do something like that, and it'll add to the sack total. I don't think it's just going to be like, oh, he's getting crushed and blindsided all day, but I think he'll make a few plays, and that might get them to 4 or 5+ sacks.
Bengals getting 2 weeks to get ready for this game influences me, and even though he's been sacked 28 times, the offensive line gave up none in the win over the Titans. Now maybe that's a Titans problem, not a Bengals benefit. The Steelers have a league-high 32 sacks, and conversely, their last 2 wins have come down to a breakup in the end zone on the final play. So I agree with you. I think it could be both.
Yeah.
I think it could be both. And, we're doing the Mega Picks podcast coming up in a couple of hours. I may be throwing the dart on the Bengals.
It might be time.
It might be time.
It
might be time for the Steelers to take an L. It might be, especially with this Ben issue, with the 2 injured knees and the COVID-19 reserve list designation. All right, Bucks at Panthers, last one. What's more likely? Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown is the most productive receiver trio, or Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, and Curtis Samuel take that title?
Wow. Man, there is some talent.
And no Christian McCaffrey.
I know.
No Christian McCaffrey for the Panthers.
There is some talent there. I don't know here. This one's a really close one. I think I'm going to go with Brady and Godwin and Brown. I'm going to go with them. I don't feel comfortable about that, but I got to think Tampa is going to be a different football team this week, a little bit more pissed off. They definitely have a better secondary than Carolina. Carolina plays a little conservative on the back end, which scares me to go, maybe they won't let up a lot of big pass plays, but I'm still going to go with the Bucs guys here.
Bruce Arians said this week he wants less from Antonio Brown, that 39 snaps was
too
more
much
than he had intended.
Right.
And they want to get away from the 3 and 4 receiver sets because that takes the tight ends off the field. It makes it harder for the running game, right?
I've been saying that all week. I just, right? Didn't I come in Monday morning going, where all the stuff that Brady and Tampa did good, they just were like, oh, we got Antonio Brown. Screw everything we did. We're just going to go shotgun. No, don't. I thought they told us they got him for insurance, not that they needed him, right? Isn't that what they were telling us? I mean, they acted like they needed him the other day. They don't. Get into 2 tight end sets, run the ball, make Brady feel comfortable with extra protection to throw the ball down the field. And when you want to take Godwin out of the game or one of them, then you put Antonio Brown in. But that's their best offense to me.
Yep, tug of war between Bruce Arians and Tom Brady over Antonio Brown, and we'll see how it plays out this weekend.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.